to a podcast about something where each week we dive deep into whatever it is we find interesting. I'm your host, Kalvin, and joining me, going hard in the paint, it's your co-host, Nick Richardson.
Going hard in the motherfucking paint. Short white dude going hard in the paint.
You know, short white dudes are great power forwards in high school.
Too bad I wasn't.
Well, I can't help you there. But what I can do is we can provide our listeners with some thoughts on our favorite power forwards to ever play in the NBA. Because that's what we're here for today. That's what Nick's been waiting for. We're finally into the big men.
Seriously, I mean, these are my people.
You know, we announced last week that the podcast is coming to an end in a few months, and we had promised several weeks ago when we did the episode on small forwards that we would be finishing this year. So we got power forwards this month, and we got centers in a couple months. But before we're done, we will have all 5 positions, so you will know all of our favorite players. Except Nick's favorite point guards, because he wasn't here for that episode. Or special guest for that one.
That's all right. I'm not. Fuck those guys.
Before Nick's time here.
Yeah. That's hard to say because I've been here a while.
Yeah, you have. Good 2/3 at least of the episodes have featured Nick, so there we go. But 100% of the episodes have featured me. So.
And I'm the shit.
So let's start by defining what is the NBA in case anybody just like randomly clicked on this and has no idea what the hell's going on in the world. What's the NBA, Nick?
It's the Nice Booty Awards.
Yep.
It's where power forwards are the ones with the real powerful badonkados.
We will be talking exclusively about Zion Williamson for the rest of this podcast. He fits both categories.
You think Zion Williamson has a nice booty?
He thick.
He a thick boy. Exploding shoes. I mean, you have to be thick to explode goddamn Nikes.
So the NBA is actually the National Basketball Association, which is the premier professional basketball league in the world.
Which is actually pretty cool because I love that the NFL says they're world champions, and it's like, dog, we are the only people that play this.
I mean, they play those games in London, though, in the Mexico City game. So, I mean, we're traveling the world.
Like Mexico and London is the goddamn world.
Canada? Oh, no, we don't go to Canada.
No, Afghanistan, like third world countries have soccer teams.
At least the NBA,
and basketball teams.
The NBA spans at least 2 countries. You know, there's USA teams and Canadian teams. Or I guess one Canadian team now. There used to be Vancouver, but it's just Toronto now. Holding true for Canada.
I mean, that would suck to have like one team for a whole continent. God damn it. It's the concussion talking, you know.
Nick was concussed earlier, so when he gets his hot Antoine Walker takes out here, you guys just chalk it up to that.
That's why I said soccer, too. I thought of that afterwards. I was like, God, I sound dumb as fuck. Steel beams, y'all. Watch out for him.
So, Nick, what's a power forward?
A power forward is the 4.
Yeah, they got the nicest booty on the court.
I mean, they're thick boys. They're like, all right, you stand here, be thick. And
Sean Kemp's, your Charles Barkley's, all of them just thick daddies.
Usually like the most athletic people on the court or just freaks of fucking nature. Mid-range jumpers, the occasional 3 assisting in the paint, often sliding to center. They're they're a true utility player. Yeah.
Usually your second biggest guy, on the court, not necessarily always. You got to have that combo of speed, agility, size, and power. Got to have all 4 of those things. Yeah.
Power forwards are
usually
usually
nasty here.
Get nasty. Sounds like a fucking porno. We got thick boys and nastiness.
Right, yeah, we're talking about thick daddies, nice booty awards, getting nasty over here. Yeah, we're going one way here. So the power forward over the last 30 years or so, from even into the 80s, it was one thing, and then through the 90s it changed a little bit, and then the 2000s it changed a little bit more, and then in these last 5 to 7 years it's changed even more. What, in your mind, what have you seen in those changes?
I mean, it's really gone from like mainly a defender who you didn't really count on for much scoring.
I mean, Larry Bird was a power forward.
No, he's a small forward, Kalvin. That's why I chose him last time.
I guess.
I mean, It comes first in his position listing, so there.
All right.
Wikipedia wins.
NBA Live would always list him as a power forward when he would play at the classic teams. So,
I guess NBA Live wins. It's like rock,
that's
paper,
pretty
scissors.
sweet at NBA Live. So,
Yeah.
check out last week's episode on gaming for more of my awesome NBA Live skills.
Oh fuck yeah. But yeah, I mean they've kind of gradually become that utility player as more's been asked of them as every other position on the court's changed.
Yeah, well the game you're right. The game overall has changed. I think in the 80s it was right. You're a defender. You're almost an enforcer out there.
Yeah.
You're the guy that gets sent out there to throw bows. In the 90s there was still a lot of that, but we started to see a shift to athleticism. Like you would have that bruiser mentality, but there would be athleticism behind it now. It wasn't just the big white dude throwing bows because he's stronger. It wasn't your Bill Laimbeer down there anymore. It was now Sean Kemp, Larry Johnson, Dennis Rodman, Charles Barkley, these guys who were big, but they were also fast and ferocious. They were
freaks, man, freakishly strong, and just these guys were. The enforcer mentality was awesome. It's like, okay, they're picking on your point guard, you go fuck with them. They can jump through the gym, and pretty much every guy you just named can outjump like anyone else on the court, respectively, except for Rodman and Barkley.
But Rodman and Barkley made up for that in their tenacity. Like they were leaders in rebounds and blocks. They played good defense. And then, in the 90s we started to see, and even the early 2000s, these guys could all score pretty much anywhere from 15 feet in. And then as the 2000s moved into the 2010s and the 2020s, that range moved back. They can now score from further away, and we've seen really the full transition to the stretch four, which is what most people are looking for. And that's just the way the game has evolved. Most teams necessitate the stretch four now. If you've got two big bruisers down in the paint, you're not going to win very many games.
No, you're just going to get a million penalties, a million fouls.
There you go.
There's strike three.
Still in soccer mode for some reason.
I'm football mode. Well, I mean, something I forgot to mention is power forwards back in the day were underrated passers. Like, that was another aspect of their game that they were excellent at, and I feel like that's kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit.
That's fallen off for the power forwards, but next week when we talk about centers, I think we'll realize there's a lot of good passing centers nowadays.
They got to, man. Got to be good dishers.
Yeah. But yeah, now power forwards, they can hit threes, they'll stretch out the defense, so the opposing teams, they're left with only one big man in the paint, so your point guards and your slashers, they can get to the bucket and they can slash and kick a lot easier because they're not going in there and getting demolished by the Davis brothers or, a combination of Charles Barkley and Hakeem Olajuwon. Like they're going in and it's just Joel Embiid standing there, and you can get around Joel if you really want to.
I mean, you can, but
or you can kick out to the wide open stretch four now.
There you go. And you have confidence they'll actually hit the shot.
Andrea Bargnani all day, man.
I don't even know who that is.
He was like the Darko Milicic successor. Do you remember Darko Milicic? He was one of the biggest busts in draft history. He was taken like third overall in, I want to say, 2002 by the Pistons. And he was supposed to like ring in this new stretch four. He could shoot, he could move, and he could pass. All these things we're talking about. And he was just awful. So then a couple years later, Andrea Bargnani comes to the league. And he was drafted by Toronto, but much later in the draft because everybody was afraid that he was the next Darko Milicic, and he actually turned out to be like a pretty successful player.
I mean, that dude probably worked 50 times harder just because he's like, I can't be that guy.
Yeah, can't be the next Darko.
Just outworked everybody.
Yeah. So we're gonna move into the 5, but really 6 fundamental somethings about NBA power forwards, and these are just gonna be our 6. Your 3, my 3 personal favorites that we like to watch or emulate. Not necessarily the best power forwards we've ever seen. So keep that in mind as we go through this.
Right.
You get to go first.
I get to go first.
And I think
son of a
before
bitch.
you go, I think this is my least talented list so far. Like, this is the worst group of players I could put together, I think, out of all the other positions we've done.
Really? I thought I was fucking basking in it here.
You'll see when I start picking my guys that I went for a very specific type of player that I like to watch. that may have not been the most productive players over their careers.
Calvin's like, I love the bench warmers. They were the best. They just
No,
look so great.
They're all
out there.
starters.
All
They
thick
just
boys.
weren't your most efficient starters. I told you, Andrea Bargnani, Rafe LaFrentz. I got some of him on here.
Oh fuck, here we go. All
All
right.
these Euros. All right, so go
Number
for your
one.
first one.
Number one. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I have several Bulls players on this list, and my first is Carlos Boozer. The
Boozer.
Beard. Fucking loved
That's a
Carlos
pretty solid
Boozer.
pick.
Dude, Carlos Boozer was
Underrated passer.
so fun. He was an underrated passer and just an underrated rebounder. That dude got no love because he wasn't really a great jumper, but he was fantastic at using his body to box people out.
Yeah, he's like Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley could out jump everyone around him.
Yeah, but Charles Barkley is also 6'4".
I thought he was like 6'7".
No. He's not.
We're going to look at
Like, look, if you're ever watching NBA on TNT and him and Shaq happen to be standing next to each other, like, look at that height discrepancy. And then look at the height discrepancy between Barkley and
Barkley's 6'6".
Kenny Smith. Nah, that's program height. That shit doesn't count.
Dog, it says right there on fucking. I'm looking right at it.
Program height doesn't count.
He's 6'6". He played power forward.
He did. All right, so let's talk about Carlos Boozer, not Charles Barkley.
Carlos Boozer, though. I was really pumped when he came to the Bulls because I thought his career with the Jazz was pretty solid. I mean, he basically drug a dead body Jazz team further on. I don't really recall them making the playoffs all that much, but they were at least relevant.
Yeah, those early 2000s Jazz teams, because that was after the Stockton Malone days. I don't know that they probably made a couple runs at it, but then he got kind of replaced by Paul Millsap, who then got replaced by what's his name, Derek Favors. So yeah, they've had a solid contingent of power forwards in Utah throughout their run, because you got Malone, and then you go to Boozer, and then you got Andre Karolinko in there for a little while. I'm just pulling all these power forwards out of my ass all of a sudden. I don't even know where it's coming from.
He's like, I'm a genius. But yeah, I love the way Carlos Boozer used his body to really box people out and dominate the paint. He was excellent at just those second chance rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Loved
Scrappy
that shit.
player.
Oh, he was just ridiculously strong too. I mean, he was listed at 258 as his playing weight, and I mean at what 6'7", 6'6".
Yeah, he wasn't very big either.
6'9". Jesus. He wasn't like super swole or anything, but he was just a naturally strong dude, tough as nails and hella nasty in the paint. Not to mention, he really wasn't drafted highly overall. He was drafted in the second round by the Cavs. And, I just loved when he came to the Bulls. It was really fun to watch him because I remember it pretty well. It was in 2013. Oh, God, here, let me do the math. I was in Colorado watching Game 1 at a bar with my buddy of the Heat Bulls matchup.
Oh, yeah, that was a good series.
Well, I mean, he scored 31 and had like 7 rebounds. He was the only lifeline. It might have been Game 2.
Come on now, Joakim Noah was out there.
Joakim Noah, the ugliest man on fucking planet Earth.
We're going to talk about Joakim Noah on the centers. Don't worry about that. Actually, we'll talk about him a little today, too.
Well, we'll talk about him. But, yeah, I was all about Carlos Boozer after that. And not to mention, especially after LeBron got put on Derrick Rose in Game 2 and just completely ground that Bulls team down. But Boozer made Chris Bosh look like a bitch, dude. He bullied the fuck out of him in Game 1, and I was all for it.
Chris Bosh, another great power forward.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Bosh is nasty, too.
Helped revolutionize the stretch 4. I mean, without him, I don't think it would be where it is. Because of that Heat team where him and Wade and LeBron all teamed up like that, that really made teams see that you could have your power forward standing out on the three-point line all game. Now, it was shitty for Bosh because Bosh was a much better player than stand in the corner and wait for LeBron or Wade to pass it to you, but it showed that it could be done.
He did the dirty work.
Emulating. He did when he could, but a lot of times on offense, you go back and watch some of those games, like you'll see Bosh is just standing out there waiting for a slashing kick from LeBron or Wade.
Yeah.
Or God forbid, Mario Chalmers.
God forbid.
I like Carlos Boozer. That's a good pick.
Yeah, Boozer was. He actually is one of those dudes that gave me a little confidence to just shave my head when I started going bald too. Because I started going bald young at like 23, 24.
Yeah, you got to do it.
I owned it, man. Shaved my head. I tried to grow a beard that was half decent like that, but I can't grow a beard for shit.
My head shave is coming soon. I probably got maybe 2 good years left in me.
They go quick, man.
Yeah.
Get you a good razor. That's my best advice.
So I'm going to get my most egregious pick out of the way first.
Hit me.
Josh Smith. J Smooth.
Oh, no, dude. Oh.
Love J Smooth.
Josh Smith, that dude was so nasty.
Oh, he is. We're going to talk about him.
I fucking hated how dirty he was sometimes. I don't even know if he was really dirty. He was just kind of a bully.
I think you're thinking of Joe Smith.
Am I thinking of Joe Smith?
Yeah, Joe Smith was like a big bruiser kind of guy. Josh Smith was a dunker.
Josh Smith.
Played for the Hawks.
No, I'm thinking of the same dude.
All right. I don't know that he was ever dirty, but
I'm not saying. Let me rephrase.
Not a dirty player.
He was a bully in the sense that he would fucking dominate other people.
Yes,
that's more so
very
what
true.
I meant.
There was something about those like 05 to 09 Atlanta Hawks teams. I loved them. That was my squad in NBA Live. That again, go back and listen to last week's episode to hear more about how great I was. But they were trying to find a way to emulate that 7 seconds or less Suns team, but they had nowhere near as much talent. So on these teams, they had Josh Smith, they had Josh Childress in there a little bit. Jeff Teague was there, Mike Bibby,
I love
Marvin
Jeff
Williams. They brought in Joe Johnson from the Suns. Al Horford, Tyronn Lue was there for a couple years. These teams were wild, but they were very entertaining.
They all had great players to watch. Teague was super fun to watch. Bibby was great.
I loved watching Josh Childress too. Like he's like a 6'8", he's got the afro. He's played point guard, even though he was like 6'8". He was not very good, but he was fun to watch.
He's wildin', man. Yeah. I remember those. Was that when you were in Georgia?
Went to, like, China, huh?
Was that when you were in Georgia?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And they made up for their lack of shooters with extra speed and jumping ability, and that mostly, like, Josh Smith came with that 100%.
He could touch the top of the backboard, I swear.
Oh, very easily. I think part of what, and this kind of carries over into real life, but part of what made me so good at NBA Live with those teams is that everyone was so quick on defense in the game and also in real life. So you could just like time these blocks perfectly, and then I'd use the off-ball control and run Smith down and just get a highlight alley-oop every time. And like that's what the Hawks were doing in real life. Is like they would just be speedy around the ball, get these weird steals or blocks that no one would see coming, and then boom, they'd get an alley-oop on the other end. And at one point, the Hawks, they tried to brand themselves as the quote-unquote highlight factory, kind of trying to follow in the footsteps of the human highlight reel Dominique Wilkins, who, I mean, he should probably be mentioned here as well as one of the great power forwards. But I feel like we probably didn't go back that far.
Nope.
But I do love Dominique Wilkins. Great dunker. And like you said, Josh Smith could just jump out of the gym. Like there's no other way to put it. And he wasn't afraid to show it off in games. And then he also made some appearances in dunk contests. He won in 05 in his rookie season. Then he appeared again in 06 doing some really crazy shit. So in 05, he invented the jump over some dude while catching an alley-oop. And he invented the now super played out tribute dunk where, you put on the jersey of the other guy and try and do one of their dunks. So he donned Dominique Wilkins' number 21 jersey and threw down just a monster windmill as an homage to Dominique. And then, on one of his earlier dunks, he had Kenyon Martin sitting in a chair. And I just watched all these today. That's why they're so fresh. But he had Kenyon Martin. And like, I remember, once I like see these, I remember watching the dunk contest live because I love the dunk contest. So Kenyon Martin sitting in a chair. He bounces the ball up. Smith grabs it out of the air and then like just floats over Kenyon Martin and windmill jams it again. It's amazing to watch these, that 05 dunk contest in particular, because something that happened in that one was he didn't miss any of the dunks. He got 4 dunks, made all of them on the first try, which is huge in a dunk contest. The 2 I didn't mention, it was like an almost free throw line, just monster tomahawk. His foot was 1 inch in front of the free throw line, which throughout history, all these free throw line dunkers, Dr. J, Michael Jordan, I think Dwight Howard tried it, Blake Griffin tried it. All these guys, none of them have been behind the line. I think Zach LaVine's the only one who was actually behind the line.
That dude can fucking jump through the gym too.
So anyone who like tries to take points away for like, oh, he stepped on the line, is like, yeah, everybody did. Jordan did, Dr. J did, everybody did it. It's fine. It's still cool.
Yeah, it's still. I mean,
Vince
you're
Carter,
flying like
Vince
4.5
Carter stepped
feet.
on the line, but Josh Smith he flew so high and just came down with a left-hand tomahawk, and then his last dunk was like this reverse 360 left-hander where he kind of was fading away from the basket. The whole performance in my mind is a top 10 dunk contest performance. Which
I have to go back and rewatch that.
It's good. Go on YouTube. But his 06 appearance was not nearly as good. This is the one where he put down a piece of tape like 17 feet from the rim on the elbow. Like he was about to jump from that piece of tape, and then he missed that spot by about 4 feet. And it was one of the lamest dunk contest dunks ever, because like he made this big show of putting the piece of tape down where he's gonna jump from. It's 2 feet behind the free throw line. It was off to the side. Everybody's like, oh, he's gonna jump. He's gonna dunk from that far. And then like he was like 9 feet away from the rim when he jumped, and it's like, okay, that was nothing.
That was nothing. Jesus, Kalvin.
It was like just a regular dunk. It was like he was on a breakaway and he just went up and dunked it.
9 feet. That's ridiculous. Dude soars like a fucking hawk, man.
So yeah, he was never really great like in games, but he was always a solid role player. Incredibly fun to watch. And then the game kind of changed to all these 3-point shooting stretch fours, and he was left in the dust. And like even he tried to stretch the floor, and he could with his quickness off the dribble and his jumping ability. He just could not shoot whatsoever. Like he made probably like 8 threes throughout his career.
Yeah, that used
but he'd
to
shoot
not be. Gotta give it to him. At least he's trying.
Cause like while I lived in Georgia, like I was trying to be a Hawks fan at that time, and like Josh Smith was my favorite player. I was like trying to like really like him, and every time he'd shoot a three, it's just one of those no. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's like Bears fans with Trubisky.
Just go dunk it. Yeah.
It's like, just run the ball, dude. Like, come on. Don't throw that 35-yarder. You won't make it.
And then, so one of the best things about Josh Smith, this is my last thing, is he was the judge of the 2020, or he was a judge in the 2021 dunk contest, this one that just passed. And he was just out there not giving anyone good score. He was just not impressed with anything. All the other judges would give a 9, he'd give a 7. All the other judges would give a 10, he's giving a 9. He was not there for anyone's shit. He's like, nah, I could still go out there and beat all these guys in the dunk contest, because this year's dunk contest was a little lame. So
that's what I was hearing at work, is everybody's like, it was fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it was rough. It wasn't very good, and I like Josh Smith, you could see every time he would put his little score up, he'd kind of just be rolling his eyes over there like he was bored.
It's like, you're whack as fuck, y'all. Step your game up.
So yeah, Jay Smoove is my first pick.
Jay Smoove.
He's not great, but I love him.
It's not. I mean, that's what this is all about.
Exactly.
Sometimes players aren't the best in the world, you know.
They're just not everyone came to LeBron.
Yeah, literally no one. There's literally no one.
All right, so who was your second pick?
My second pick, and this is my honest to God favorite player of all time, Dennis Rodman. Specifically, 95, 96, when he came to the Bulls after Horace Grant left in free agency. He was the guy who I emulated my game off the most, because I can't shoot for shit. Like, I'm one of those people that tries my hardest, and I'll throw the ball 30 yards behind the basket and 10 yards to the left. I don't know how to shoot for some reason. I tried the arch, I tried all that stuff, but I was a rebounding machine.
Balance, elbow, eyes, follow through.
You say that like I'm gonna go out here and start making
shot prep,
fucking swishes. No, I was reliable within like 3 feet of the basket. Like, I'll get those in, but I'll snatch every board down. And I was a pretty good passer in the paint. I remember my dad, because I grew up a Bulls fan, obviously, and I remember my dad, he was my coach quite a few times, and he's just like, Nick, I love you, but you're not a great shot, son. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm not. And so he's actually the one who really turned me on to Dennis Rodman full time, because I was obviously a Jordan fan.
He's like, Nick, you suck. Watch this guy. He also sucks.
Basically,
but you can be like him.
He'd be like, son, we're trying to win the game. Do not take that pass and shoot the ball.
Just grab
give
the
it
rebounds,
to someone else.
Give it to somebody else.
Literally. And, I mean, he's like, because I was
Jesse over there. Jesse is your Michael Jordan. You give him the ball.
literally in Tremaine. Tremaine was a hell of a ball player. He actually went on to play D1 basketball.
Shout out Tremaine.
Yeah, he's
Going
a good
to
dude.
DePaul.
And he was basically like, so he'd start telling me stories about watching Dennis Rodman live and stuff like that, and how fun he was to watch, how ridiculous he was at jumping through the gym, and his ability to just snag boards was unreal, man. And he had the uncanny ability to just pop off when it mattered. Like when
his hands had magnets in them for the ball. Like they really did.
He had absolute like heart and motor. That dude played harder than anyone else on the court pretty much every night, unless he just got done banging Carmen Electra 6 times.
That's okay. They still won the championship. That's okay that he wasn't there.
Yeah, but my dad had a couple recorded games that I would rewatch when we didn't have cable. One was in '97 versus the Bucks, and he finished the game with 16 points, 26 boards, 1 assist.
I tell you right now, those late '90s Bucks teams were bad.
Yeah, they weren't that great, but 26 boards, that's
insane.
Dude, that's unreal. He was a 7-time NBA rebounding champion from 92 to 98. 7 in a row. And he was 6'7". So, obviously, I'm not 6'7", but no. I played real hard for a chubby little fat kid, and I snagged them boards, and I was a damn good passer. And I flailed my legs just as much as Rodman.
So boom. Nick is the new Dennis Rodman. We're just gonna call him Rodman for the rest of this, for the rest of our run here.
Nick the Rodman.
Nick the Rodman Richardson. There you go.
I hate it so much.
But that's a very bad nickname.
Last thing I gotta mention though about Dennis Rodman is when he played against Charles Barkley when he was on the Pistons and Barkley was on the Sixers. That was the only dude that was out rebounding Charles Barkley, and I don't know.
You said 92 to 98. Barkley was still in the league and pretty productive during half of that time.
Oh, he was still a really good ball player.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Rodman his pure athleticism was insane, and just a great facilitator too. His passing ability really underrated.
Yeah. I agree with every point you made. I've got nothing to add on Dennis Rodman.
I'm sure everyone's seen, The Last Dance, so.
Yeah, and so a lot of people had problems with him because he was so outrageous off the court.
Man, I don't give a fuck. You wear a dress, you can suck all the dick you want, man. Whatever, I don't care.
Well, I was like 10, 9 to 12 during that second three-peat, and so. I didn't know everything that was going on with Rodman. I didn't understand the Carmen Electra stuff or the wearing the dress and all of that. But like I would just hear all these people talk shit about him. I'm like, he's good at basketball, and his hair is colored differently every game. Like I don't know why people are mad at this guy. And even like now that I know the other stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay, running away from your team for a week is bad, but the other stuff going, like he would still show up to play. Every other time, then other than that time that he ran away for seemingly his mental health, or that's what The Last Dance made it seem like, is he needed a mental health break.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he just didn't tell anyone. Like my only thought there is, okay, you got to tell Phil Jackson that. You're like, look, I got to be out. Zen master, you understand?
How the fuck you could not say that with Michael Jordan within 100
Well, Michael
feet.
Jordan would come and beat the fuck out of him, but I feel like you could tell Phil Jackson on it. They needed texting back then.
That was not a thing back then where you're like, man, I'm just not having a good mental health day.
That's true.
And be like, you're a professional, dude. You need to get the fuck out there and play ball. I don't give a shit. You can hang yourself after the game, Rodman, but you go out there and snag me 20 boards or else.
On the 20th board, just hang up there by your neck. You'll be fine.
Fuck. That took a dark turn. But,
yeah, let's move away from that. But you're right there. But that's never what people were talking about. People weren't talking about that he disappeared for a week. People were talking about the being in tabloids and wearing a dress and the different colored hair and the nose rings and things like that. And people just didn't like him because, he broke the status quo of what they wanted to look at. And, him and Allen Iverson are probably the two biggest reasons of the NBA dress code coming in the early 2000s, right? Where they all have to wear suits and all this bullshit that David Stern put in at the time. I would like to think Rodman had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it was.
Iverson gets most of the blame because it was happening as Iverson was at the pinnacle of his popularity. But I think like
And that's saying
Dennis
something.
Rodman had to start rolling that stone down the hill.
I mean, I don't think Iverson would have done that because it was basically be squeaky clean and shut the fuck up and play ball.
Yeah.
I don't think the NBA has really become more inclusive and accepting of, other cultures and stuff like that until Adam Silver became, the commissioner.
Stern, the late Stern years, he was kind of starting to make that push.
I think
he was starting to realize it,
anymore.
and I think also Adam
fair.
Silver had a lot more. He had a lot more power at that time too. Like he was the VP at the time, and I think he was making a lot of those pushes and kind of telling Stern like, look, this is the way we need to go. And I think Stern had his ear and was really listening at the time, because he knew. I think there was for several years. I think it was pretty well known that Silver was going to be the next guy.
Yeah, I think he's done a great job.
Oh, absolutely. Silver's great.
Yeah, I would really wish the NFL would get an Adam Silver.
Or just a not Roger Goodell.
Fucking Roger Goodell. The boner
So
champ.
my next pick is going to be the best one on this list. There's no arguing. Actually, there's one argument you could make, but I don't think you're going to make it. And it's Kevin Garnett.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Did you have Garnett too?
I did have Garnett.
Well, all right,
let's dual talk about Kevin Garnett.
Well, yeah, but let's save him for last then. Because he's your third guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do my other guy, and then we'll come back to KG.
All right.
Because I've got a lot on KG.
Mm-hmm.
So my last guy is Omar Stodomer.
I fucking love Omar Stodomer from the Suns.
Suns Omar Stoudemire, yes.
Dude, if he just didn't get injured so much, man, he would be. He
blew out his knee, and then he never came back really fully from that. And I was watching his highlights, and I was surprised with how many were from his Knicks days. There were more than I expected.
From when he was in his career.
Knicks. Well, so he blew out his knee in like 2006, I want to say. And then he was on the Suns for maybe one more season, and then he went to the Knicks. But he wasn't in the league that, like, I think he came in 2002 or 2003.
Yeah, he really wasn't around a whole hell of a long time.
So something that you'll notice with all three of my picks are they were all straight from high school to the pros, which doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, but after LeBron.
No, there was 2 more years after LeBron. It was 2005 was the last year of it. I have a stat on it here somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, I think during our KG talk, I think I'll talk more on that.
All right.
So Omar Stoudemire, perfect balance of size, speed, and power. Absolutely. Like, he had everything. He could hit the mid-range jumper. He could run the floor. He could play defense. He was the Tracy McGrady of power forwards.
I mean, that dude was one of the best power centers that I had ever seen.
Well, yeah, he played center a lot for those Suns teams because they also had Boris Diaw and Sean Marion. Really, I liked all of those guys on those teams.
Boris Diaw was fun as fuck.
I hated him so because the Suns were another team I would play with, and Boris Diaw, like, he would do these things in real life that just didn't happen in the video game for whatever reason. He couldn't do shit in NBA Live, and it was very frustrating.
He's magical, man.
Yeah, Boris Diaw was a great passer. Not the fastest person, but he could shoot from outside if he needed to. But yeah,
like 20 pounds. He probably could have avoided carrying, and he would have been a much more agile player.
He was shifty for how big he was. Like,
he was
pretty agile. Yeah.
Oh man, beautiful feet. His balance was extraordinary.
Beautiful. We're back into the thick daddies now. Those beautiful feet.
His feet were sexy. Fucking unreal.
I always thought Amari was the most fun part of those 7 seconds or less Suns teams, and I know, like, on every one of these episodes we've probably talked about those 7 seconds or less Suns teams because they were one of my favorite teams ever. With Steve Nash, Leandro Barbosa, Raja Bell, Joe Johnson was there for a while, Sean Marion, Amari, Boris Diaw, all these guys were so much fun to watch, and they worked so well together. But Amari, he'd get you a steal or a block, and then he'd run the floor for just some monstrous alley-oop on the other end. He had a solid mid-range jumper, great passing skills. He had a really great spin move on the block. And then something I noticed while watching his highlights, like it's probably not 90%, but I said 90%. It is probably like 75 to 80% of his highlights are this thing he would do where he'd get the ball, He'd face up to the basket. He'd get about 2 feet out of the restricted circle at the bottom of the paint. He'd jump as hard and as high as he could into the stratosphere and then just come down with a perfect dunk with the force of an atom bomb. It's insane. Like, go watch one of his 10-minute highlight packages. Seriously, most 7 minutes of it are that exact play. It was just all he would do.
He's a straight up sniper.
Yeah.
Like not in the sense from shooting from long range, but
no, from jumping into long range and then jamming on everybody.
Just fucking slamming it on people. I love his glasses too.
Yeah, the glasses were always good.
I love that shit.
You know, he was the next Sean Kemp, and I think he knew better than to get too fat like Sean Kemp eventually did. And but he didn't get that chance because he blew out his knee.
I think he put too much weight on. Like in muscle. I think he put too much muscle on.
So what happened is he blew out one knee, and then he came back and blew out the other knee, which is usually what happens because you start favoring the other knee and it happens. And then he was just never really the same. But he had some of those, you know, stratosphere atomic bomb dunks still on the Knicks, and I even saw one like when he was with the Mavs, which was like I want to say like 2017. Ugh. So like he was still out there doing it every once in a while. He did try his hand in a dunk contest as well in 2004 and 2005. He didn't win, and he really didn't even do that well. But, you know, I got to give him some props for he got a header alley-oop from Steve Nash and a rainbow kick alley-oop from Steve Nash, which were great dunks.
Well, another part of his game that he was really good at was taking those quick spit, like the baby hook.
Yeah,
like him and Pau Gasol.
Quick spin into the middle and just
baby hooking that baby right in. Shit was beautiful, and he had great ball control with those. That dude had the biggest hands.
Yeah, well, KG had the biggest hands.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that.
KG's insane. Like, we're gonna talk about KG in a minute, but one thing back to his injury, like I don't ever get, and we see it with Blake Griffin right now, how these guys they have these good mid-range games, right? Like, Omar Stodomer is great at getting to the basket, but he could also shoot from mid-range. He could hit a three if he really needed him to. Same with Blake Griffin. But then, all of a sudden, you know, they tear their ACL or whatever. Their speed and jumping ability is diminished. And now that all of a sudden they can't hit mid-range jumpers anymore? I don't get that. Do they just like, forget that it's okay to take a jumper? Are they being guarded differently? Like, what's going on there is what I don't understand.
Honestly, I think it just hurts.
Yeah, it could be. Like you get that little bit of pressure when you're going up, but I feel like as many shots as these guys take in practice and everything, they would become accustomed to that. The only thing I could really come up with is that the defenders they now close out harder on them because, you know, they know they can't get to the hoop as easily anymore. They're not going to blow by you and do that, you know, just straight up and down jam on you anymore. So now the defenders can get right up in their face. They can guard that mid-range shot a little bit better, where in the past, before the knee injuries, they had to play off you because they know you could go by them or that you'd be dunking on them soon enough if they didn't give you that step. So maybe that's what made they just have more open jumpers before. I don't know.
Well, I think it's more apprehension. I mean, there's got to be some kind of fear that they're going to tear some shit again.
Yeah, there's that too. That's fair. All right, so let's talk KG. Are we ready for KG?
That
big
dude.
Ticket. Man, he could do it all.
I loved having his jersey. I used to wear that shit all the time.
I never had a jersey, but he was my first favorite player. Like, real favorite player. Like, everybody's favorite player was Jordan in the 90s. But then, you know, I'm 12, 13, kind of like really starting to watch games and really starting to see what's going on. KG was my guy.
Oh, man. He,
I did have his shoes. Like, I didn't have his jersey, but I had the KG shoes at one point.
I got his jersey because I had to pick a favorite player after Jordan, and naturally KG was it.
Yeah.
Him and Tracy T-Mac, they were my fucking
T-Mac
dudes.
Wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
Right. So KG had that because he came in the league in '98, and T-Mac came in like 01, but T-Mac
95.
wasn't. Really?
Yeah, 95. Straight out of high school.
Yeah, I know that. No way.
He's like, I'm going to the records, man.
I know. I don't believe it. I thought it was like 98. 76. So, yeah, 95 it would have been 19. Damn. All right. Well, I'm wrong there. Okay. So, yeah, KG had that run from 95 to like 2001 when I think Tracy McGrady came in at like 90, 99, 2000. Something like that. He was at the 2000 dunk contest, so it had to be before that. But KG had a good run before, 97, 98, before T-Mac got there, which was nice.
I mean, he was also a player that I kind of wanted to. He was when I was actually really playing basketball. I was pretty fucking young, but I've been playing basketball. I played basketball forever, and he was just so nasty in the fucking paint, dude. Oh my god!
Absolutely.
For a tall, skinny ass dude. I always looked at KG.
So strong though, and
so
such
ridiculous, man. And that motherfucker could yell like crazy. I used to love listening to his commentary on the court when they'd catch a hot mic. What's up, bitch boy? Fuck you.
Yeah, he's got tenacity, he's got skill, and most importantly, he's got those trash talking chops. He's every
nasty.
Opponent's nightmare.
I mean, if Kevin Durant never came into the league, I would say KG was like a one-off. But then Kevin Durant came into the league. He was like a prototype kid, KD.
Well, and he was
KG.
really. Well, and Chris Bosh is kind of that too. But and KG I think was the first guy to really be able to stretch the floor. He could really devastate you from outside. At being a four with how strong and how powerful he was in the paint, he could hit shots from outside. He could drive past you if you tried to get in his face from outside. He was the first one that really started stretching the floor from the four position. And, it took the game a while to kind of catch up to what KG was able to do. And then Duncan comes in, and Duncan, he's a mid-range guy. He can't stretch the floor quite as long.
Yeah. He wasn't nearly as athletic as KG. But...
Yeah, right. So, but that's my argument for who the other, like the actual other best power forward ever is Duncan.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's got the championships and because he was so good for so long. But I think KG's skill trumps Duncan's skill. I would take KG on his best day over Duncan on his best day.
I 100% agree with you because Tim Duncan had a better team and better coach around him pretty much every year of his fucking
Garnett is
career.
dragging fucking Troy Hudson and Wally Zerbiak to the playoffs every year.
Wally Zerbiak.
I loved Wally Zerbiak, man.
The Zerbs. Well, I mean, I think KG was really like the first player that that's not necessarily true. I was going to say the first player that walked onto that court and was like, this is my court every night.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't the first player to be that, but
you got to take this shit from me, dog, because I feel like he punked out everybody he played with. He threw some nasty ass bows too. His shit was sleight of hand.
He wasn't the first straight out of high school, but I think he was responsible for the surge that happened in the late 90s and early 2000s that led to people like LeBron and Omar Stodomer and Josh Smith coming into the league. And it's crazy how good and how ready he was right out of high school.
Oh, absolutely.
And how big and strong. Like, it's one thing for LeBron to come out. Like, LeBron in 2003 when he came out was nowhere near what LeBron was in his actual prime from, like, a strength and speed and ability standpoint. Like, LeBron was ready, but he didn't have the strength to carry his team to the playoffs. KG did right when he came into the league. Like, he's
not going to be denied.
Yeah, he was a grown man.
He was he had some hair on his chest. He was a goddamn man. And he really didn't get much bigger. That's what's hilarious. I think he has, LeBron
I think
has
he got
some
more
natural
muscular.
strength. A little bit. Like, he's just such a lean player. And his defense, like, he'd get that real low squat, and he dude.
He's so quick. And so for our younger listeners, I just want to point this out. If players were allowed to go from high school directly into the NBA anytime prior to 2005 season, as long as they were at least 18 years old. Moses Malone was the first player to ever make the jump, and Amir Johnson was the last player to ever make the jump, taken in the second round of the 2005 draft. So, fun fact for everyone to learn today.
Fun fact.
So, I always thought LeBron I thought that was the last class too, was the 03 class, but 05 actually was, because that's Josh Smith, it's J.R. Smith, it's Amir Johnson.
J.R. Smith was drafted right out of high school?
Yep. Well, so I was watching this dunk contest earlier. It was the 04 high school McDonald's All-American dunk contest, and it was J.R. Smith, Josh Smith, Candace Parker, and Darius Washington Jr., who never made anything out of himself. And the whole time they're going, J.R. Smith is going to North Carolina. He's going to play with Rashawn McCants and all this other stuff. And it's like, nope, he did not go to North Carolina.
Went straight to the NBA looking dumb as fuck.
I mean, he's been playing for 20 years, so I think he did
all
right.
Look dumb as fuck and play for 20 years.
He's won a few championships.
Motherfucker.
I like J.R. Smith.
Quit refuting every point I'm trying to make. It's rude. You're making me look bad.
Yeah, Garnett, absolute freaking nature. I wore number 21 of him. I had a pair of his shoes, or I wore number 21 in basketball because of him. I had a pair of his shoes. It did really bother me that Duncan was also number 21 because like I hated Duncan. I hated the big fundamental of Duncan, and Duncan's a great player, and I can admit that now in my maturity. But as a kid, nobody wants to watch Tim Duncan play.
He's boring. He's boring as fuck to watch, man. And he's not nearly as smooth as Garnett. Garnett's poetry in motion.
Yeah.
It's unreal. When he's on, he's on. And he was never really a big scorer. He was just an all-around extraordinary basketball player.
I mean, he was putting up 20 a game.
That's not really all that big of a score when you think about it.
I think for a big man it is.
I mean, yeah,
like Hakeem Olajuwon isn't out there putting up 30 a game either.
No, I'm not. Yeah, that's fair.
We'll talk more about Hakeem Olajuwon next time.
But KG was the reason I got into basketball cards for a long time there, because they had those. Do you remember those cards where they cut up jerseys and put a little piece of their jersey on it?
Yep.
You remember that commercial with KG?
Maybe.
Oh man, you'll have to look that up. It was early 2000s.
If I saw it, I would probably remember it. I think I had a KG rookie card at one point.
Oh, I still have a KG rookie card.
My brother probably has it now. I got all the action figures. He got all the cards.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Actually, no. If you had Pokemon cards, then shits would be worth some.
Pokemon cards.
Oh fuck.
We weren't that big of nerds.
Nerd. I still never dug out that picture of me with my Pokemon Red missing 2 front teeth. I'll find it tonight.
And everyone remembers KG on the Celtics winning championships, like and I don't even know if that was his prime. But they were so good, and anything is possible and all that. But people forget how dominant he was in Minnesota.
I'm sorry, I forgot about it. Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
But the point I'm making here is how dominant he was in Minnesota. He won the league MVP in 2004. Like I said, he carried several of these Wolves teams who their next best player is Wally Szczerbiak for most of those years. And, no hate on Zerbs, but it's tough when he's your only help.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run through a couple accolades that Kevin Garnett has.
Because you do the accolades because I got the actual fun stuff after that.
He was a 15-time NBA All-Star, 15 out of 21 seasons.
Yep. And the 6 he didn't make it were probably the last 6.
It was a couple of
last Wolves run.
It was his first couple early seasons.
Oh, really?
And then his 95,
he won
96.
Year, didn't he?
I don't recall. I think he won Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I know he won Defensive Player of the Year a couple times.
So he was an All-Star 97, 98, 2000 through 2011, and 2013. He was a 9-time NBA All-Defensive First Team from 2000 to 05, 08, 09, and 2011. So a little later in his career, he had to mature a little bit more. So he was on the court more because I felt like he got called for a shitload of fouls.
And on those Celtics teams, he wasn't needed to be the bruiser. They had Big Baby Davis down there. They had Kendrick Perkins. He really changed his game during those Celtics years, and it was very interesting to watch because he
was a more mature player.
Yeah, and he was he was a smarter player all of a sudden. It wasn't just ferociousness for the sake of ferociousness. He was picking his spots a little bit better and making plays more.
I mean, he could be what he is naturally gifted at. When you have Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, you got fucking help. Rajon Rondo, man. Oh my God, how could I forget? Rondo's probably my favorite point guard of all time.
He was on my list when we did point guards way back in episode 26.
Rondo is the man. He's a crazy motherfucker, but he's a man. He was also a 3-time NBA All-Defensive Second Team in 06, 07, and 12, and 4-time rebounding champion. That's my shit. He was a whole lot bigger than Dennis Rodman, but I'm all about the rebounds. The boards are my shit.
So now that we got that out of the way, boring stat guy.
That boring numbers that I do for a living.
Let's talk about how he would just eviscerate opponents mentally with his trash talk.
Oh my God. He would make people... I'm sure at least they should do a 30 for 30 on Kevin Garnett and how many grown men he made cry.
Well, so I was watching a bunch. I was glad you were a little bit late today because I got to watch the rest of the YouTube videos that I had saved of just it was just KG. I had watched all the highlights, so now I needed the KG trash talking highlights. And there he made Big Baby Davis cry. Andre Blatch he made cry. There was another one that I saw that it was crazy. He started beef with Joakim Noah in Noah's first ever game. He's Joakim Noah's idol his whole time growing up, and Noah like tried to say something nice to KG, and KG wasn't there for it. He basically told him to fuck off. And
No,
like he's
get
like,
the
who
fuck
the
away
fuck are
from
you
me, man.
talking to? He's like, who the fuck are you talking to me? Who the fuck are you talking to?
Oh, God, man, I can
And then
only
like
imagine.
Noah never spoke to him again.
I wouldn't either.
There was
Imagine being the ugliest dude in the world and your idol just told you to
like, you
fucking
gotta
kick rocks.
stop taking shots at my boy Noah.
Dog, I love Joakim Noah, but how can you not? You got to be real with yourself, man.
Oh, I know he's ugly. There was also
Say it
this
with
thing
me.
with Steven Adams. I guess
Ugliest man in the world.
in Steven Adams' rookie year, he's Australian, so KG tried to say some shit to him, and Steven Adams played the I don't speak English card,
He's like, huh?
and
Okay.
KG just never talked to him again.
I'm surprised KG didn't just kick him straight in the nuts. Like, fucking foreigner! Ugh.
So he also once allegedly called Charlie Villanueva a cancer patient, and for those of you who don't know, Charlie Villanueva suffers from alopecia, where you can't grow hair on your body. So he looks like somebody who's had cancer, who's gone through chemotherapy. KG later tried to cover his tracks on this, saying he said he was like a locker room cancer, he was a cancer to his teammates kind of thing, but Villanueva's always stuck with that story that he called him a cancer patient. I gotta believe Villanueva here.
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
That sounds very KG.
Oh, dude, that's totally KG. That's probably the one he chose to say because it didn't have 15 expletives in it.
Yeah, right.
What's up, you fucking puss? Get the fuck away from me, motherfucker.
So he's
That
also.
dude, I heard.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I heard that dude say "fuck" on live television more than I can remember.
Oh,
so
yeah.
many times a mic
Oh,
would
yeah.
catch him saying "fuck."
So the last one is probably the most important. One time, allegedly again, he told Carmelo Anthony that his wife, who was Lala from MTV, tasted like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Damn.
And that led to a whole thing. Carmelo Anthony tried to like meet him outside the locker room. And I guess Lala and Paul Pierce have both come out and said that he never said it. And again, I don't believe that. I'm sorry.
Dog, I bet he did
I
say
think he
it.
said. Well, the thing I was watching is like he had to say something that bad for Carmelo. Carmelo Anthony went after. They both got technicals. Like he went after him for the rest of that game, and then he's sitting there waiting outside the locker room. Like you've got to say something really bad to get one of these guys, because they hear this shit all the time. And I guess Jordan Crawford, who was a Celtics bench warmer at the time, tried to also tell Carmelo Anthony that he fucked his wife. And it's just like, Jordan Crawford, you sit down. You sit this one out.
You sit this one. I mean, there was a whole thing after Delonte West banged LeBron's mom.
Oh, Delonte West. Yeah.
LeBron straight up made that dude homeless. Made him crazy. LeBron's like, I'm literally
I
going
don't know
to.
that he made him crazy, but he's definitely a contributing factor.
You think LeBron? He's like, all right, here's what your job is. I'm going
Here's
to
some
give you
PC. I'm just
$50K
gonna
a
start
year.
spiking your water bottle with PCP for the next 3 months.
Yeah, here's a gift of a pound of PCP, and I'm going to have these people call you 300 times a day. So don't sleep.
It's a lot of fun that KG's an analyst now, but I just don't think anything's ever gonna live up to his shit talking as a player.
Is it bad that have you seen you've seen Family Guy before, right?
Yes.
You know Blackie Weatherton?
Mm.
It's gonna rain.
Oh yeah.
That reminds me of KG as an analyst.
He
He
no,
slammed
KG's
that
pretty
ball.
good. KG when he slows down and tries to do it, he's very good at being an analyst. But
Oh, yeah,
one
he's got
last
a lot
thing I
of
want to talk
intelligence.
about, like with his actual highlights, when I'm watching these highlight packages, and a lot of them are his blocks because he was such a tenacious defender. He would go up for these blocks and he'd just snatch the ball out of the air one-handed. It was this crazy thing to watch because he'd go up with such force that you think he's going to send it into the top row in the stands, and then just all of a sudden you'd look down and it would still be in his hand because he'd just go up one-handed and just like palm it
Cup
out of
it,
nowhere,
yeah.
and still just like come down with it. I'm not even talking like because he does the thing, after the buzzer rings and somebody throws up a shot, or like a whistle blows and somebody throws up a shot just to like get a shot up. He always does the thing where he blocks it. But like these aren't games. He's just jumping straight up and grabbing the ball out of the air like it's a fucking ping pong ball. It's crazy to watch.
His hands are freakishly big.
Yeah. You got anything else on KG?
I don't, man. I fanboyed enough over that thick boy.
One of my favorite parts of watching, especially the three people I picked, watching the highlights of them, was that all three of them were in their primes at around the same time, or at least some part of their prime, between 2002 and 2008. So there's all these highlights of them, but then there's also highlights of them making each other look silly. Like Kevin Garnett gets a dunk, it's on Josh Smith. Josh Smith gets a dunk, it's on Omar Stodomer. Now Omar Stodomer's got a dunk, it was never on Kevin Garnett, I don't think. They might have blocked him a couple times, but
he packed his cookies.
Amari had a few dunks on Josh Smith. Like it was cool to kind of see both sides of it as you're going through it.
That's straight up bad. That's like Hector fighting Achilles. It's just really fun to watch those titanic battles. Like I've mentioned Rodman and fucking Barkley like 10 times. Still haven't watched that yet. Don't spoil.
Oh, I just watched it yesterday.
I'm really excited to watch. I want to see Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That looks dope.
I had to get cut.
Go over here.
I got a problem with that in the trailer at least. Maybe they'll fix it in the real movie. The inflection isn't right on "Get Over Here."
No,
it's like
terrible.
The one thing you've got to get right.
Yeah, you have to get over here.
Get over here.
Yeah, you got to do something like that.
You can't.
I'm Batman.
The guy's just like, get over here. Like
get over here.
Yeah, his voice is intimidating. It's just not right. Batman would do it right. So, all right, what would you
swear to me?
Get over here.
My wife's gonna be so pissed. She's gonna be like, shut the fuck up.
So, who is your favorite current NBA power forward?
All right, I gotta give this guy his props, his honorable mention. LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah,
literally
retired.
Yesterday.
2 hours ago.
Or was it 2 hours ago?
I saw the tweet. I saw the tweet today.
It might have been.
No,
today.
they played a game yesterday that he played in, and then he had to go to. He's got an irregular heartbeat or something. He said it was bothering him. He went to the hospital after the game. His teammates were really supportive. Blah blah blah. So the actual retirement, I think the announcement came today.
Okay. So, yeah, there's that.
And this is Wednesday,
concussed.
April 15th, just for anyone who's confused listening to this on a different day.
Yes, I feel like it's Wednesday.
It is Thursday. It's Thursday, April 15th. We usually record on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm all kinds of thrown off.
Yeah.
But I had to get him out there. He was really fun to watch in
I like LaMarcus.
In his prime. And he was
not
around for a while.
Not technically a current NBA player, though, so.
Don't give me that bullshit. Okay, if I got to pick a current, Lauri Markkanen for the Bulls.
Ugh.
Dude, fuck you, man. If he's healthy, he's easily a top 10 power forward.
I don't know about that.
Was he Swiss?
Yeah, something like that. But he went to college.
I'm pretty sure he's Swiss. Yeah, he went to Arizona?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm pretty sure he went to Arizona. I want to know if I'm right or not because...
My honorable mention is the thick daddy himself, Zion Williamson.
Fucking Zion Williamson!
He's a beefy dude, but he is so powerful and yet somehow so graceful and can just jump out of the gym all at the same time.
Arizona.
It doesn't make any sense.
He's a swoller LeBron. Like, okay, his body is what prime LeBron's body was the second he came out of college.
Yeah, but he looks big.
Yeah, he looks
LeBron
chunky.
has never looked big. LeBron has always fit in his body. When I say LeBron never looked big, like obviously if I was standing next to him, he is massive. But he looks like a tight end, right? And that's the build and body type you want as an NBA small forward, power forward.
Yeah.
Zion looks like a left guard, but moves like a running back. It's insane. I don't get it.
He moves like man, he moves like a boxer almost. Like he's so
that's a good comparison.
Shifty
Much
and
better
smooth.
Than the last comparison you made.
But it's like fuck you, man. But it's like Aaron Donald playing basketball. Just that.
But I've seen Aaron Donald play basketball. He doesn't move like that on a basketball court.
No, but he's swole like Zion. Williamson probably hardly has to work out. And if he does, he's got to be careful because he'll gain too much weight because he'll get too jacked.
Yeah, you don't want that. My other pick here is Pascal Siakam from the Raptors.
Okay,
No.
I
Yeah.
thought that's who you were talking about. I wasn't positive. Has he done shit in the past year?
I don't know that he's done anything recently, but he had a couple. They had a good run a couple years ago, and I think where he was going was the next evolution of KG and Tim Duncan. He's taken the 4 out of the stretch 4, and now he can just play all over the court. He can guard anybody on defense. He can score from anywhere on the court, and he's just, when he's good. I think he got hurt maybe last year too. When he's good, he's a lot of fun to watch because he can do everything so well and move around the court so well.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I just don't think he's ever going to be a
put him up over Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, I probably would too.
Yeah, well, I think it's hard to be a star in Toronto also. Kyle Lowry's never really made that jump. Like, Kyle Lowry's really good, never made the jump to being a star. DeMar DeRozan, same thing, was really good and really productive in Toronto, but nobody's like, oh yeah, DeMar DeRozan, let's go watch him play.
I mean, people in Texas are.
Well, now they are. People in Toronto then were.
Yeah, they were like, psh, psh, psh.
Pascal
Losers.
Siakam's like a little bit more athletic Andre Karolinko.
I love that name.
Yeah, it's a good name. That's why I brought it up again. We didn't get to talk enough about Andre Karolinko earlier.
Let's talk about Pascal, but whatever.
Oh, Pascal Siakam. Yeah, good name too.
It's a great name. If I have a son, I'm going to name him that.
Pascal Siakam Richardson?
Fucking
It's a little
right.
weird, but all right.
People would be like, dude, you're an asshole.
You got anything else on power forwards? Besides, how great of a power forward you were back in your day.
No, I played center because I literally would not take shots. Like, I would get maybe 4 to 6 points a game purely off just putbacks.
Nice. I was a point guard, and I didn't get any shots up either, so that's fine. I was a distributor.
You were a disher?
Yeah.
I could see
Run
it.
the offense, get people where they need to be.
I could see you talking a lot of shit, too.
No, I never, like, I was too focused, and, like, I everything was always kind of blocked out in my mind. I didn't hear things, I didn't see things, like, I only saw what needed to be seen. Yeah. And it wasn't like, but I would, like, so my junior year, when I sat the bench most of the time, I would talk mad shit on the bench. When I didn't have anything to focus on. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. It's
yeah.
like your role on whenever you run the bench. That's your role.
By that time I had gotten, like, we had built up kind of some of these rivalries with the other teams, and I knew a lot of the players on the other teams by that time. So yeah, that was always fun. All right. Power forwards. That was it. This is our shortest episode in a long time. Good job.
It really is. Yeah, we rocked that shit.
Thank you for listening. You can check us out on Twitter at APA something, at alone_podcast. Buy the merch. This podcast isn't going to be around much longer. You got to get your merch while it's still hot. So, I mean, it's always going to be there for you to get, but you want to get it now.
It's hot right now.
Yeah, it's hot right now.
It's just hot.
That's at tpublic.com. Just search for a podcast about something. You will find us. And shout out to those. Wait, we're not going to do those cats yet. If you're ready for the next adventure from me, Kalvin, after a podcast about something, go head over to @Magic3TVPod on Twitter. Follow me there for all the latest on the Magic Numbers 3 podcast coming sometime 2021. And
now, is the 3 a number 3 or
is a number
spelled
3? Magic
for the listeners.
Magic number 3 TV Pod.
Dope.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification. The logos are up. The logo's done. The guy who did the podcast about something one did this one for me too. His name's Vincent. Great guy. Good artwork. So yeah, go check it out. And as always, the music for a podcast about something is provided by those cats.
You gotta stay sassy.
Stay classy.